I'm Tracy, and we're here today with our friend Isabel for her success story. Welcome, Isabel.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello, thank you so much for coming. And I wanted to start out by asking you, did you have any health issues or what kind of foods were you eating before coming to a meat-based diet?
Oh man. Well, I would do my daily commute to work, and every day to work, I would stop by Starbucks, get a grande white chocolate mocha, and man, just saying that just leaves a really sweet, ugly taste in my mouth. But that was my everyday. I would always get that coffee. Every now and then I would get one of those, I think it was like a turkey sandwich that they had, and I was like, oh, it's low fat, so it's good for me, you know, so it'll mix out the super high sugar coffee that I just drank. So that was my everyday. And then I would just do a lot of fast food for lunches, and I do like to cook at home, so unfortunately I would cook a lot of pastas and a lot of Italian. I am Mexican, so a lot of Mexican food, and that's extremely high in carbs and fat, and that was my that was my meal, my foods and everything. So that was before going keto. I started actually with keto back in 2018. So
Can I
I'm
ask
sorry.
you, did you have any health conditions that caused you
Oh,
to have to do keto?
I was always borderline anemic. So I was always either fine or, hey, I need to watch out with my iron intake and I need to consume more iron. And I mean, I would ask my mom, you know, like, what can I use? Or, you know, because I know they have supplements, they have iron pills and everything. And she said, no, just eat liver. And that just sounded really gross to me. So I was growing up, I was never really a fan of liver. Every time she would make it, I just avoid it like a plague. So, but other than being anemic, I mean, I always suffered with really bad acne, not just on my face. Unfortunately, it was literally on my chest, on my back, really heavy on my shoulders. It was just pretty uncontrollable. And I would have loved to blame it on puberty, but once my adulthood started coming, it just got worse. So, I mean, other than that, I would have dizzy spells due to my anemia. I have suffered constantly with like depression and whatnot. So just things like that. But, you know, I've never been diabetic before, thank God. That does run in my family. So that was something that I did have to watch out for. But thankfully that kind of skipped over me, but I have read that you could get it anyways, you know, depending on how you eat and how your lifestyle is.
Awesome. Okay. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. And so you were searching for some kind of way to get healthy. Is
Mhm.
that correct? And then you started with keto?
Yes. So I actually started with keto back in April of 2018. That's kind of where I was at my heaviest. I was at 235, and I'm very short. I'm 4'11 and a half. I'll always keep my half. But so with my stature and my height, you know, my doctors would constantly tell me, hey, you need to watch out with your weight, you know, you need to be healthier, be more active. And I've never been much of the active type. So of course I would immediately go to trying to change my diet. So I did, and I started looking on Instagram, you know, just different, not really weight loss inspirations, but more like health inspirations, because I didn't really want to focus on weight loss because I didn't want it to be short term, because I know how I am. I lose commitment very easily. And so I came across keto, and I actually started talking about it at work, and there were actually a lot of people around me that were doing keto, so that made it that much easier to start. So I began with keto, and I was with it, you know, all in. I struggled a bit in the beginning as far as I started losing my hair right here in the very front. And that was a little concerning, but I heard that, hey, it's okay. You know, I did get the keto flu, the headaches and everything. And I was like, you know what, it's just detox. It's just detox. Everything's fine. Well, after, you know, dropping down, I believe I got to 175 on keto. I hit a really bad plateau, and that just my luck, it was right around the holidays. So I started cheating again, started eating, you know, all these unhealthy foods again. So that bumped me up to my 180s, and that's where I just got stuck. And I just kept looking on Instagram, you know, for more inspiration, more motivation and everything, because they say that you need to be motivated every day. You know, it's not something that just sticks with you. It's something that needs to come every day. You need that intake every day. So I came across the carnivore diet. I actually started following Brett, Thankful Carnivore. So I started following him, and he's the one that actually inspired me to start. So I started following him. I started following ShawnBaker, and, you know, all these other, you know, carnivore, I don't know, gods, if you want to say so. I just got really inspired, and I said, you know what, it's time to switch things up. You know, I'm pretty sure that the vegetables and the dairy are holding me back, so I'm gonna try something different. So I tried just meat and water, and sure enough, from my 180 that I was stuck at for almost a whole month, I got down to 166, and I broke that plateau, and yeah, it was incredible. And I saw my hair growth again, which was great, because, you know, as girls, we're very vain with our hair. And it just, I mean, just the energy levels that I had after that were just, you couldn't, I've never had that, you know, from an energy drink, from coffee, from, you know, anything. So just to know that meat did that on its own, just meat and water, that's all I was lacking the whole time. So, and also my anemia did go away completely. I have not had any issues within the past 3 years. So it's been great. I feel fantastic. My skin cleared up so much, and it's, I don't know, it's just awesome. So this way of eating is just really simple. It's, you know, I don't know why I would change it. And unfortunately I did, though. I did start experimenting again, because I did hit another plateau, and I went to If It Fits Your Macros, and I started consuming carbs again. Well, lo and behold, we went back to square one, and bloating came back. My acne started getting really bad again. I started getting really oily skin. And I know this is probably a little TMI, but my periods were actually very different. I would get very, very bad cramping, which I had already gotten used to. Being on the carnivore diet, I mean, I'd had no cramps at all. I had zero bloating even during my time of the month, and getting back on carbs just completely brought all of that back. And so I stopped that and got back to carnivore, and I'm back.
So when did you switch from keto to carnivore, and did you have any transitional issues between those two?
Going from keto to carnivore was nothing but positive transitions, honestly. I mean, like I said, I lessened my bloating, and I really do blame that on the dairy and the vegetables that I was consuming, because as soon as, I mean, that was the only difference that I really needed to cut out, was just dairy and vegetables, because keto is already very low carb. So just cutting that out completely and going zero carb, I mean, that just gave me my answer as to what was the issue in the first place.
And when was that?
That was, oh my goodness, I think I started carnivore in August of 2019, I believe, if my math is correct.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I was, like I said, I was keto for a year, so from 2018 to 2019, and then I had switched over to just carnivore, yeah, in 2000, I think 2020 had just started. I can't really remember exactly, but I do know for sure I was a whole year keto before I got into carnivore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And so you didn't really have too much of an issue switching.
No, yeah, no, absolutely not. It was actually a very smooth transition. I think what hit me the hardest was introducing carbs back whenever I stopped carnivore to do If It Fits Your Macros, which was completely, I mean, that's a whole 180. You're completely introducing rice and grains again. It's a lot of vegetables. I mean, there's still healthy options. I mean, what we're used to hearing is healthy options, but I mean, seeing all the bloating that came back, and I really didn't see any benefit from it. It didn't even benefit my weight loss really. And the whole purpose why I went to that diet was because I was starting to do a lot of more weight training, and I started going to the gym a lot more. So I was introduced to the mentality of, oh, it's going to help you with your muscle mass and this, that. And so I said, oh, you know, what the heck, you know, I'll go ahead and try it. But I didn't see any difference at all. I mean, other than just the negative benefits, the negative issues of bloating, and it wasn't worth it for me. And I understand that everybody is different, but honestly, I mean, in my own experiences, carnivore is the way to go for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you look amazing. You look amazing.
Well, thank you.
Your skin looks gorgeous, and
thank you.
I know that was an issue for you. So you got rid of your anemia, and you said your skin cleared up. And so, did anything change in carnivore? Did you get better benefits? And how about depression? How was that for you?
Oh, so during my time with keto, I started feeling a little bit better. My depression did lighten a bit, but it wasn't completely gone. I would still get my mood swings every now and then. Just, I mean, like I said, my energy, I mean, had gotten better, but it wasn't at its best. So whenever I did switch to carnivore, that was another thing that I did notice, was my energy levels were just beyond what I had ever experienced, which in turn ended up getting me more active. And I think with being more active and actually getting up and going, that really just nixed out my depression. I don't really get mood swings anymore. It's just, life is just so much better. I'm so much happier. I've always been a happy person, but I think now, like, I'm actually reciprocating it because I actually do feel it. It's not just faking it at this point. I mean, I just feel so much better.
Oh, you look really happy as well. Also, can you tell me, what do you eat in a day, and you know, your favorite foods? Or do you do 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day? Do you include dairy? What kind of drinks, coffee, or do you do that at all?
Yeah, sure. So at the very beginning, I did just do meat and water, and I would do a lot of eggs and bacon in the morning. And then I would kind of just see how I felt throughout the day. I really didn't have a precise time. I never really measured anything either. I get that question a lot. If I, you know, weigh my food or if I count calories, and I don't. I just go off of how I feel. So if I do feel hungry, I will eat. So then, you know, whenever I would get hungry again, I would eat just any chicken thighs, because I was still stuck with the keto mentality of you need fat. And so I would eat chicken thighs because they were higher in fat. And then come dinner, if I got hungry around that time, I would have either salmon or a ribeye. And so I was eating a lot in the very beginning of my carnivore journey. But once I started actually listening to my body, you know, going off of my hunger cues, I noticed that I didn't have to eat breakfast. And I know that's really like, oh, you're supposed to eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. But no, I would wake up and I would, you know, feel really good, satiated from my meal from the previous day. And until I started feeling hungry again, I would eat again. And I've noticed that beef is just so much more satisfying than chicken or even fish. I do eat salmon or shrimp every now and then, but I try to stay with beef because I do feel like it fills me up, and it just, I don't know, it just does something. It makes it feel better. But yeah,
Understand.
yeah. I mean, in comparison to, I mean, let's say if I ate eggs all day, you know, I would feel very snacky and hungry. And so beef, I feel like just, it completely takes out that snacky feeling. Like I rarely feel snacky whenever I eat a good steak. And so my go-to is always either ribeye or a New York strip. I every now and then like to switch it up with like lean ground beef. Sometimes I add butter to it, but it's not an everyday thing. So yeah.
Okay, so do you include dairy like cheese or not?
Occasionally, it's very rare that I do eat cheese. The majority of the time, I just cook with butter or just lard from, not really lard, but just the bacon grease, you know, the fats that came off of my ground beef that I just cooked. So I like to use that. So yeah. But as far as like heavy whipping cream and coffee, I don't do anymore. I hardly drink coffee now. I mean, just because I don't feel like I need it. It's more of just a drink if I feel like having it. But I try to drink just the majority of water throughout the day.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Water is an awesome drink.
Yes.
Do you ever drink sparkling water?
Yes, I love Topo Chico. It's my absolute favorite. Being a Texan, I mean, I have to drink it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, it sounds like you've had a great journey and that you're
Thank
doing
you.
so well, and you're going to continue, say, with carnivore.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've done so many switches back and forth, and I don't even know why I stopped if I had already seen benefits before, but I mean, it's just getting so much better now, and I'm not going to switch it up. So I know it works for me, so I'm going to stay with it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, thank you, Isabel, so much for coming to our show and sharing with everyone, because it does help people and encourage people
Yeah.
who are on the journey or just beginning the journey or thinking about it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.